Have you done Fayetteville? Have you walked among the dinosaurs and then the roses? Have you cheered on the home team or zipped through the trees? Have you done North Carolina history while experiencing history in the making? Find art, find culture, find adventure. Explore the nightlife, then make your day. If you're looking for a place off the beaten path that's actually right next door, visit Fayetteville, North Carolina. Have you done it yet? Plan your trip at distinctlyfayettevillenc.com.
It's the Garnet Trust Hour on your home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game.
All right, welcome in. Garnet Trust Hour, Tuesday edition of the show here on 107.5 The Game. Inside the studios here with Gamecock football's Debo Williams. Debo, appreciate you joining us today.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Yep, glad to be here. I know y'all are busy. Y'all are still in the midst of preseason camp, obviously. How's it going so far? Let's start there. This is a generic question, but give us some thoughts on how camp's going.
Man, camp has been great. Honestly, you're going to have your ups and downs, but that's up to the leaders and the coaches to bring it together, you know, for the freshmen that's coming in and just combining the team together. And we've been working hard, honestly. And so this has definitely been one of my hardest working years with the winter, summer, and camp. So I know it's about to be a great year. So we just got to keep going. But it's been a great camp so far.
Good deal, man. And we'll get into a lot of that. Got a lot to talk about as you guys kind of are turning the page now from, you know, the first couple weeks of camp, two scrimmages down. Soon here you start kind of really getting ready for North Carolina. And so we'll talk about all that stuff. But let's go kind of back up, right, and get a look back kind of on how you got to South Carolina. Learn a little bit more about you as a person. So we were just talking out there before you came in. Obviously, you're from Delaware.
Yes, sir.
What part of Delaware?
Like I said,
Everywhere?
I'm from everywhere in Delaware. Delaware is so small. But I went to Smyrna High School. Shout out the Eagles. And, so I'm basically from Smyrna, Delaware. I was born Christiana Hospital, Delaware. So been there my whole life. I used to play Little League in New Jersey, right over the bridge in Delaware. Not far, but I've always lived in Delaware. So just to take it back that far. But I moved around a lot as a kid. So I felt like that helped me become very outgoing, you know, moving around, seeing new people, different ethnicities, learning how to be cool with everybody. And once I got to 8th grade, I moved to Smyrna. And from 8th to my senior year of high school, I was at Smyrna. And then ended up going to the University of Delaware for about 3 to 4 months. That's where my original college that I had went to.
Delaware, University of Delaware, Blue Hens.
Yep.
Is that right?
Sir.
Shout out. Yep. Did you have a good experience there?
Oh, yeah. I absolutely love Delaware, but you can't, me being a football player and me wanting to make it to the highest level and dominate at the highest level, you can't beat the SEC school. Yeah. And that's always been one of my dreams, you know. I eventually wanted to transfer out of Delaware. Me being at an FCS school, I know how hard it is to make it from there to the next levels, you know. So not saying they won't find you, but you have a better opportunities being at a bigger school. So I definitely was going to end up doing that. I just feel as though I have God on my side, and he's made it easier for me to do that.
Well, and I feel like that's kind of there are some downsides, you know, and some things about the transfer portal that I know maybe some fans don't like, coaches don't like, administrators, heck, maybe even players. But for me, I think that's a cool example, right? Because I feel like guys who are really good high school players, they can kind of bet on themselves a little bit more now, right? Like some guys, let's say you got a really good high school senior, and he might not get the offers that he would in the past because of the transfer portal, right? Like if I'm a college coach, like if I'm Coach Beamer, and I need receiver help next year, I'm going to recruit some freshmen, but I'm also going to say, well, who's available in the portal, right?
Yeah, that can help now.
So sometimes that might cost that senior down the road, you know, maybe an opportunity who might have been a late bloomer. But on the flip side, he also now isn't stuck's a bad word, right? But a guy like Juice, for instance. Yeah. Like maybe he just played all 4 years at James Madison, and maybe he makes the league from James. He would have, right? Maybe you stay at Delaware for 4 years and you go make the league, but it does give you, I feel like, a chance to like jump up quickly.
Chance. Yeah, better chance. It'll help you draft stock, everything. Because then the NFL doesn't have to question the level, the competition that you played. Yeah, because I heard it all throughout high school. That's why I wasn't highly recruited. Oh, your competition isn't good. You're in a small state. I heard it. Then I would go to these camps like the Nike Open and Rivals, and I felt like I was dominating there. But since I didn't have the offers yet, they just weren't looking at me. So, you know, it definitely helps.
So while we're on the subject of Delaware, I've been there before. I've been to my goal is to make all 50 states.
Okay.
So I've done over 25. I'm like halfway home, right?
Yep.
So Delaware is one of my favorites. So I just thought it was awesome.
Yep.
It is small, like you said. I didn't really go into what would be a city part of Delaware.
Like Dover or Wilmington.
Dover, yeah, those are the ones. I was thinking of Wilmington. We kind of passed by there, but I was hanging out, went to Lewis.
Yep.
Went to Rehoboth Beach. It was awesome. I feel like it's a hidden gem.
Yeah, I definitely think that too. It's just such of a small state, people don't really hear about it. You could probably drive through it in 2 hours max. And but yeah, we're known for our beaches. We don't have any taxes, and it's pretty quiet out there. You know, obviously it's going to be violence wherever you go, but I feel like it's less of because of how small the state is.
Yeah. It was. What was they had the license tags or the little stickers? It was low, slow Delaware.
Yeah, and our license tags also say the first state because we're the first state.
Yep. So really cool place. So growing up at that level, tell us about the high school football. You said that you heard sometimes the level is not great, and even Marshawn, you mentioned earlier you were friends with Marshawn Lloyd coming up when he played here at South Carolina. Y'all had some carryover on the roster, and I remember he talked about that in the past too.
Yep.
He y'all seem to have kind of some pride for Delaware, and y'all feel like the ball is a little bit better than people give him credit for.
Yeah, so I felt like me and Marshawn coming through, and then I don't know if you remember Braden Davis.
I remember Braden, yeah.
Us three coming to South Carolina, even though, it's just me now, it was a big deal because people from Delaware do not make it that far. I want to say I was one of the first SEC defensive players to come. I think we had one. He went to, I want to say Missouri, but this was early 2000s, maybe 90s, late 90s. And so for me, I might have been the second player to do it, but at least the first one in the new era. So it was a big deal. And so we're starting to get players more recruited by bigger schools now.
Yeah.
But when I was there, it wasn't nobody going to the Big Ten or the ACC or SEC. So that was big for us. And then Marshawn was a little different because his parents, his mom, whoever he had in his corner knew he wasn't, he was a big recruit coming out in 8th grade. I think he had an offer from Maryland already. But he knew it was better for him to get out of Delaware. So he ended up going to DeMatha.
Yep.
He even tried to get me there, but me and my mom, we talked, and she wanted me to stay in Delaware. So, I felt like it was the best decision for me because I got a lot of love coming from Smyrna, man. That's homegrown. I love it out there. Smyrna's strong. And so that was the best decision for me. He made the best decision for him, and we still made it together.
Mm-hmm.
So also, high school-wise, for some reason, they just don't recruit us. I think when you look at the film, as a recruiter, you should be able to tell if he can play on the next level or not, which is college. And so, but they just never seen that with me. I guess they thought I was a FCS player, or I don't know, teams like Temple and stuff wouldn't even offer me. These are teams right next to me. Temple is based out of Philly, and they wouldn't even offer me.
Temple didn't even offer.
Rutgers, none of that. I went to all these schools. Any school in the Northeast you could think of. I've been to North Carolina. I've been to NC State. I've been to Rutgers, Temple, Penn State, all of these schools. Never offered me. They recruit me and text me. And just when I first made it to South Carolina, I was just so thankful for Coach Beamer. He knows I'll do anything for that man because it's he really changed my life. So the first game I had ever here, and I had blocked those 2 punts, broke a record in my first game, it was just kind of all right, now it's time to really believe in yourself. You can do this now because all them schools, all them coaches doubted you. It's time to prove them wrong, A
little validation for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's just what I've been trying to do. Even last year, me finally starting to play on defense more. And I got a couple of starts. It was great, forget what everybody else saying. Prove yourself right first.
Well, and you bet on yourself coming here, as we were talking about earlier. And now, like you said, you saw your playing time grow throughout the season on defense. Obviously, special teams, you had an impact. Yeah. And now you're in position this season where you got a starting role, potentially this year. Yeah, to be a defensive leader. So good stuff there. There was another. You mentioned Braden Davis, who's now at Syracuse. He had a teammate. Oh boy, I hope I don't.
Tomiwa went to.
He went to Kentucky, right? Yeah. So maybe y'all are growing.
We're starting to grow.
Y'all are growing the ball in Delaware.
The portal. He's at West Virginia now.
That's right. He did go in the portal.
Just to see guys really get chances now. And then we got another player. I think he. He's going to another SEC school though, from Delaware. Forgot his name. I don't even want to butcher it, but we had another. So it's starting to grow.
Yeah.
And then Coach Beamer and his staff, they're starting to like grab guys from PA and Maryland, and I'm loving it. You know?
Yeah. So I mean, when Beamer got here, we knew that they were like the state of South Carolina, right? There's a lot of really good football players here.
Yep.
But you can't sign 20 guys from South Carolina every year.
Yeah.
Like, you won't be very good. There's some high level. It'd be like if you took 20 guys from Delaware. No offense. Like,
you're
but
probably going to have your 5 or 3,
yeah,
you know?
You're going to have a handful. Some years you might have 10 if it's a great year that you could take. But we knew, hey, you're going to have to go recruit your state, which they've done pretty well.
Yep.
You keep up with recruiting a little bit.
Yeah.
They're recruiting really well in state now. But we knew, hey, they're going to have to go in some other areas. Like, if you go into Atlanta, everybody wants Atlanta kids, right? Everybody goes there. It's
Florida kids and all that.
Heavily trafficked area. So the DMV's been huge for them, though.
Yep.
Like, because he's got ties. Limbo's got New York, Pennsylvania. But you got Beamer, Torrey, and Sterling Lucas has some ties up there. So it's been big.
Yeah, definitely. And I hope they keep recruiting it, man. Like, something about the DMV and just the Northeast, we have a edge to it. Like, if you ever watch me play, I have an edge, man, because I just feel like people doubt me, you know? So every time I'm on that field, go ahead, doubt me, and I'll show you. And that's how I feel. And I know a lot of us come like that, you know?
And I was talking to somebody about this last night, and we were actually looking at a couple of clips of your game from last year, your games from last year.
Yeah.
And some of the hits you laid, you don't really have any regard for your body or anybody else, do you? You just kind of throw it out there.
Man, football is my love, man. Like, if I had to go, it'd be there. Like, I love it that much. You know, I do not feel any type of way. And at the same time, I'm trying to make you fear me on that field, you know? Yeah. So you should know that I don't care. So if I don't care about me, I definitely don't care about you on that field. And at the same time, I'm trying to win. So me putting fear in you helps us win. I'm cool with that.
What's you got a favorite hit so far from your career? So I saw one you put on Clemson's quarterback last year, cut his legs out.
Favorite. You know what's crazy though? So 8th grade, I don't know if you ever heard of Under the Radar. It's a YouTube.
Yes, I have.
Yep, and they would post like all the best youth players in high school, and I had never got a video. I felt like I was very dominant on the Northeast. I was going to every camp dominating, so I would see these guys that's on there, and I'm like, you know what? I don't got them now because I can't play them. They're not on my schedule, but I'm gonna see them. I don't know how I'm gonna see them because I ended up at the University of Delaware. All these cats were at Bama and Clemson and all these big schools, and I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna see him, but I'm gonna get there. I don't care if it's the league. I'm gonna see him. Get to the University of South Carolina, see him on my schedule. He's one of my guys on my list. See him on my schedule, and finally, so my freshman year, I didn't get on defense that year. I was on special teams, so I never seen him. Sophomore year, I'm on defense now, so I'm like, okay, get in the game. Second quarter. In the second quarter, he wants to run a draw. I don't know if it was a draw or he just seen an open lane where he wanted to run for a pass. Man, I'm like, I'm not about to hit him up high. He bounces off of those right through his legs, full speed. Boom. Hit one of those flips like if when Reuben Foster had hit what's his name? QB for the Browns. You know what I'm talking about? QB for the Browns right now. Cleveland Browns.
Oh, Deshaun.
Yeah. Reuben Foster hit Deshaun in one of those playoff games, flipped him. It reminded me of that, and I got up hype. I was like, yeah. Because I've been wanting him literally for like 5 to 6 years. And so it's other players out there in the nation. I ain't going to say their name yet, but it's other players in the nation out there like that.
Oh, goodness. You have a hit list?
Definitely. Because I hate when players get a lot of clout, I should say, or a lot of following, and they haven't proved it yet. Prove it. Because I've had to prove everything to everybody. And prove it to myself also. So you got to prove it to me that you're the best. Because I feel like I'm the best, so you got to prove it to me.
All right, we got to take a quick timeout. More on the other side with Gamecock football linebacker Debo Williams. Listen to the Garnet Trust Hour here on 107.5 The Game.
This is Carl Dukes with the CBS Sports Minute, sponsored by Wrangler. Visit Wrangler.com for the best in denim. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Anthony Edwards capped a brilliant exhibition season for the Americans with 34 points in their come-from-behind victory over Germany. He's an all-star and soon-to-be superstar. He's unquestionably the guy, said Coach Steve Kerr. He's 22 years old and goes by Ant-Man. Remember the name. I'm Carl Dukes.
It's Wrangler's
season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights. Open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
Attorney Joe Cordell.
Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer's skills in these matters, and that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills.
Online at CordellCordell.com. 1201 Main Street, Suite 840, Columbia, South Carolina, 29201. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois only.
Paid for by Cordell & Cordell.
It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights. Open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
Here's what's coming up on the game.
The halftime show is broadcasting live from the Tile Shop in Harbison, right next to Total Wine and More. Come see the 75 full displays. The Tile Shop does total designs. Tomorrow from noon to 3.
Your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there. And around there. And even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
Bill Gunner for AAA Heating and Air. Give him a phone call today, 803-677-1500. Let their comfort advisors help you choose the right system to suit your comfort needs and maximize your dollar. With new tax credits available because of the Inflation Reduction Act, you could save as much as $5,300, and you could do it with 0% financing for qualified buyers. Call AAA Heating and Air today, 803-677-1500.
AAA Air when you need us. AAA Heating and Air.
Heath here with Jacob Crowder from First Palmetto Bank. Summer's here and the real estate market's heating up. And if you're building or buying a new home, you need to contact 107.5's longtime mortgage guru, Jacob Crowder. If you've ever needed a guru, it's in this market. First Palmetto Bank is owned and operated here in the Midlands with local decision makers. Processing and underwriting are made easy. If you're looking to make a move, give Jacob a call, 803-719-1005, or email him at jcrowder@firstpalmetto.com.
Thanks, Heath. People are buying and building. With school out, we're seeing a lot of activity. Here at First Palmetto Bank, we have products that help home buyers keep payments down. Also, ask me about our refinance options that require zero money out of pocket. Finally, if you're considering building or renovating a home, please ask me about our no-nonsense construction loans. If I can help you, give me a call today, 803-719-1005.
You're making mortgages easy, doing refinances with no money out of pocket, and helping people build and renovate. If you're moving, make Jacob Crowder your first call, 803-719-1005.
Thanks, 107.5 listeners. You can also email me at jcrowder@firstpalmetto.com. My NMLS number is 198432. First Palmetto Bank is a member of FDIC and an equal housing lender.
Pedale Wine Pool and Spa is your one-stop shop for all things swimming pools and hot tubs. New construction of vinyl, fiberglass, or gunite swimming pools, as well as liner replacements, weekly maintenance, repairs to existing equipment, or upgrades. Come see us at 5541 Sunset Boulevard to check out our full line of spas and where we offer free water samples and all the chemicals you need to keep your pool and spa clear and clean. Pedale Wine Pool and Spa. You'll find us on Facebook or online at PedelWinePools.com.
It's the Love Chevrolet Countdown to Gamecock football.
11 days till kickoff.
Winner of Chevrolet's Mark of Excellence Award for Best in-Class Customer Experience. Maybe that's what Love customers love so much about Love Chevy. I-26 at Harbison and at LoveChevy.com. Find new roads.
Makes a little sports analysis, pop culture, and great interviews, and you've got the Rich Eisen Show podcast.
Mike Florio, who's coaching for their gigs this year, do you think?
Brandon Staley, the Chargers, has to be. The way that they ended the 2022 season. And I think Robert Kraft put everyone on notice, including Bill Belichick, that it could be over. And Rich, every owner is thinking about the easy part is getting rid of the guy I have. The hard part is finding a guy who's as good or better.
The Rich Eisen Show podcast, wherever you listen.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game. Discover Herndon Certified. Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered. Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. It's the Garnet Trust Hour on your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
All right, segment number 2. Garnet Trust Hour here on 107.5 The Game. I'm Chris Clark, joined in studio today with my special guest, Debo Williams. We're having some fun looking back on the Clemson win last year, looking back on a big hit That was a fun day, man. Yes, that was a fun couple weeks.
Oh, definitely.
For y'all.
Definitely.
All right, so I'll ask this. I ask it to every player who's participated in Tennessee and Clemson game, and especially with the Tennessee game. I know that y'all have to give sometimes the answer of, oh, yeah, we 100% thought we were going to win. But did you foresee that coming against Tennessee, like the way it happened?
Yeah. I'm always thinking we're going to win every single game we go into. But for us to put up 60 on them and run out of fireworks, didn't see that one coming.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a shootout. It probably was at first, and then we end up taking off.
Yeah.
But, I didn't see it going like that. I'm always thinking we're going to win, though. That's never a doubt in my mind. So just to see it go like that, I wish we win every single game like that. I don't want to be in a close game. Let's blow everybody out.
Yeah.
Let's blow everybody out. And so that was great. And then running on the field, my first time ever, Tennessee, the whole stadium was packed.
Yeah.
Everybody on the field. That was crazy. You usually see that once in your college lifetime, like your 4 years being there.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see it once. I've seen it back-to-back weeks. It was crazy. We stormed Clemson's field, their home field. So that just to see that, it was insane. Then I got a picture. I had a flag. I had the flag, South Carolina flag, on their field. Like I'm stamping it in the ground. And the Clemson players were so mad. And you could see me smiling. Like I was so happy. And so just to see that back-to-back weeks, was incredible.
So y'all were obviously a mentally tough bunch to be able to pull off those wins. And something that I still don't understand, maybe you can shed some light on this. Yep. How did y'all go from 38-6 in Gainesville to 63-38 against Tennessee? I mean, that was one week.
Yeah. So we had a meeting in the locker room, with Coach Beamer. He's a great leader, and we just came in the locker room, came together, and we was like, "How do you want this season to end?" Because I think this was the start of November, last 4 weeks or something like that. And he's like, "How do you want the season to end? Like, do you want to be remembered, or do you just want to go down as having a 6-6 season again?" And we came together, man, and it was time to turn up because we can't have those games happening like Florida. Like that was embarrassing, So we can't have games like that happening.
Is there a little bit of motivation for the Florida game this year to kind of?
I feel like every game is a motivation. I'm not just going to.
You don't treat it separate.
Nope.
Yeah.
I don't treat it separate. Week 1 is the same as week 12. We got to dominate every single game.
So let's go to the Clemson game now. I felt like watching that game. So you're talking about the difference, and I'm not trying to get you to say something that'll become bulletin board material for somebody, but like watching DJ versus Spencer Rattler, right? Both of the quarterbacks made some mistakes in that game, but Spencer had this kind of confidence that he retained. Like when he threw the pick six, he threw the pick, going down to score basically down in Clemson territory, and it seemed like he was just kind of shaking it off a little bit. I just felt like in years past during this streak that Clemson had opened up, they seemed like the more confident team, but I felt like y'all seemed a lot more confident and poised in that game.
Yeah, I totally get what you're saying. I feel like Spencer believes in his defense as much as we believe in our offense. And so, man, our motto is put the ball down. So if something negative happens, we just say put the ball down, like next play, delete button. And so Spencer can throw as many picks as he wants, man. We got his back to the end. And he's our leader, man. So wherever he goes, we go. So if he dominates, we dominate, And hopefully he doesn't have any off days, but we're going to pick him up if that's ever the case.
Yeah.
And when something negative goes, I want him to shake it off because we got his back.
You've always been a very, you've been a physically imposing player. Like your ability to hit people has not changed, right? Like it's gotten better. But you've always had that. But where have you seen your game grow from being, mainly a special teams player as a freshman to now working your way into, being a starter or a key player on this defense? Like what's gotten better for you?
Getting my coaches and my teammates to trust me, knowing that I'm going to know everything. And if they need me, I can help them, And I said this in an article not too long ago. Like my goal this season is to be the smartest player on the field. Like I should see plays coming before it even happens because I study that much and I watch film that much. It's not all about just the physical aspects. Yes, I want to be physically imposing, but I can save energy and time for us if I already know where a play is coming, and then I can let my teammates know and we could be on it,
What have you seen from one of your running mates back there at linebacker, Stone Blanton? It looks like we've heard he's taken a pretty big jump from year 1 to year 2.
me and him go back and forth, man. It's competition because he's very smart himself. And so with us watching film and, hey, bro, I see this. What do you think about this? And say I didn't get the call on one of the plays. It's this call. It's this call. So we together, man, and we making each other better. And just when we on the field at the same time, you know, watch out.
One of the things that Shane Beamer has mentioned that he wants the offense to improve on is this season. The past 2 years, South Carolina has had the most turnovers in the SEC offensively. The defense that you play for has, in 2021, they were first in the SEC in takeaways, third last season. So this season is going to be interesting to see, what happens. I do know from what Coach Beamer has said, the offense has taken better care of the ball this preseason. But what that also means is as a defense, y'all aren't forcing as many. So what's your take on that? Do y'all feel like y'all are still playing at the typical level that could create those turnovers in the season, but the offense is just doing a really good job here too?
Definitely think the offense is improving, which is a great thing. And, we'll continue to create turnovers in the games. If it's not happening in practice as much as it should, I have no doubt in the game we'll make it happen. Because even seasons in the past before, like, it goes back and forth. It's like a double-edged sword. It's like, do you want your defense to have a lot of turnovers? And that means the offense has a lot of turnovers.
That's right.
So it's a double-edged sword, but I feel like both sides are going to be great this season.
How do you create that mentality of turnovers? Because it seems like they come in bunches, right? So, like, and in some regard, you're waiting on the offense to mess up, but you can also create those chances.
Exactly. You have to be thinking about it. You can hit somebody and it just happens to come out, but you got to think about it. Like, if you're trying to get an interception, you got to be willing to cut a pass off or look at the QB's eyes. You have to be thinking about it, And so, and as far as punching the ball out, you got to think about punching the ball out. So you got to think about the turnover. So it comes in bunches because it's like, we just got a turnover. Let's get another one. So that's why I think it comes in bunches because all 11 of us on defense are thinking about it.
Compare, if you can, what you saw through spring and preseason of 2022 versus spring preseason of 2023. One area that Coach Beamer really wants to improve, run defense. So how do you feel about that, especially compared to where y'all were last year?
Run defense will definitely be a lot better this season. I feel like me, Stone, Mo Kaba, Bam Martin, Scott, Puck, rest of our backers, man, us being in that middle, we definitely going to help with that. They've been recruiting great. You got guys like me coming up, knowing the whole playbook now. So it's and then we're thumpers, man. Like, we take pride in people trying to run through the middle of our defense. Like, we're not having that. And then we got our whole D line, Tonka, Boogie, which is Alex Hunley, TJ Sanders, and all those guys coming up under. We got our edges, I could name everybody, and then everybody knows about our DBs, DBU. And so we take pride in that run, You get a lucky pass here and there, that's cool. We'll fix it. But we take pride in you trying to just come in our stadium or we in your stadium, you just trying to run like it's not happening. So
what were your first impressions the first time you saw Pup Howard as a freshman?
Like 20, 21, just nah. Pup
that's everybody. Seriously, that's what everybody says.
Yep, Pup is huge, man. He got great size, and so he's just learning that playbook and trying to put it all together. Man, he's gonna be good for us.
How's Mo look out there? I mean, coming off of a knee injury, unfortunately had one in high school. Unfortunately had one last year, but I know he's been back out there running around.
Yes, sir. Getting back to himself, man. He's a beast. Me and him on the field. That's my guy. When I first got here, he was here for like a semester, and that's been my brother, So it's like me and Stone out there, like just communicating. That's how I am with Mo, just talking back and forth, like, hey, we got this on this play. Oh, if you see this, do that. So just building that brotherly bond and being able to have each other backs on the field. So he's getting back to himself, and he'll be dominating right with us. I have no doubt in my mind.
Y'all feel like y'all have maybe the most depth that you've had in the linebacker room since you've been here?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Definitely. And I always try to give the backers a kill mentality. That's what I say a lot. And so they've been developing it, and you'll see this season, man, even with the whole defense, like, we come with a different tenacity and a ferociousness, different than most years you've seen. So you'll see it.
What happened to, what's different, you think?
I feel as though it's we're growing together. I've been with some of these guys for 3 years straight, so it's a different type of bond. I got your back and I know you got my back, so it'll be no doubt. If I make a mistake, I know they're going to be behind me. If they make a mistake, I'm going to be behind them. It's not we yelling at each other and complaining. Nah, bro, let's get it back. We good.
Yeah.
We'll lead it.
All right, 2 segments down with Gamecock football linebacker Debo Williams. You're listening to the Garnet Trust Hour here on 107.5 The Game. Got to take a quick time out. When we come back, more with Debo Williams.
You loved Lala Kent on Vanderpump Rules. Now get to know her on Give Them Lala.
Is it weird having a million things to talk about and the only thing he wanted to talk about is Bravo?
Yes, and it's always weird. It's like when I went to the White House Correspondents' Dinner and thought that this was my chance to make a change, and they were like, well, enough about change. Scandal. And then I have so many questions for Howie that had nothing to do, and he was like, so scandal.
Give Them Lala wherever you listen.
It's the Garnet Trust Hour on your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
Garnet Trust Hour here on 107.5 The Game, rolling along with Gamecock football's Debo Williams. We're having fun in here, and appreciate you joining us, man. 2 segments already down. We only got 2 more left, unfortunately, but we got still a lot of ground to cover. Looking back at last year, looking forward to this year, obviously. So we're talking about some of your defensive teammates, and we touched a little bit on Spencer in this offense earlier, but offense, obviously, last year, man, did some great things at the end of the year and certainly had their moments. But in your mind, from what you see out there on the practice field, what have been your impressions of the offense and how they look?
Just the difference with our offensive coordinator, like D-Lo, man, that's what we call him. I love him, man, and great guy. He's even helped me on defense, and just showing me things I should be looking at and fixing my eyes, So any offensive coordinator that's willing to help defensive guys, I absolutely love it. And so the play calling has been great, and obviously I'm not going to get into that, but
sure,
that's where we've improved tremendously.
Do you see a different Spencer Rattler this year?
Definitely. Spencer's lost a lot of weight, faster, been in the playbook just like me. He knows everything, so I expect to see Heisman conversation with him, as always. Definitely.
Yeah, confident Spencer Rattler is what we saw the last 2 games, of last year, and even really into the bowl game, and that was obviously a dangerous Spencer Rattler.
Exactly. We go where he go, like I said,
All right, so I feel like I am contractual. I don't have a contract, but if I did, I'd be contractually obligated to ask you about Nicholas Harbor.
Yeah.
All right. So have you seen him open it up in practice with the speed?
If he gets, if you can't get hands on him, it is over.
Yeah.
It's over. If you can't stop him from opening up, it's over, man. It's like nobody's going to be able to stick with him on that field, so.
It's crazy because, on the football field, and it looks different than watching him run track. So you see him on the football field, and you're like, all right, well, he doesn't look like he's moving that fast. But then you look at the grass, and you're like, oh, yeah, he's eating a lot of grass.
You got to look at the people trying to run with him. Yeah,
they're behind.
That's what you got to look at. And then, like any other freshman, got to learn the playbook, everything.
Yeah.
He'll be just fine.
Yeah. Any other guy? Let's just open this up generally. Offense, defense, special teams. Who are some guys that maybe aren't getting maybe as much love as they should? Like you say, man, I've really seen this guy grow this year.
Nick Memorial.
Oh, yeah.
Freshman All-American. I feel like he does get talked a lot.
Sure,
I feel like he should get talked more. Him and DQ. I've seen both of them grow. Not being satisfied with just being freshman All-American.
Sure.
Man, let's be an All-American this season. I'm on that goal with y'all. So let's do it. So I feel as though they need more praise, man. And then Marcellus Dow, too. I'm just speaking from a defensive side now.
Yeah.
I feel like Marcellus, people keep saying Cam and Rush left last season. What are we going to do? We got Marcellus, we got OD there. Like, we're going to be just fine. These guys have been balling. These guys have been on the field, So it'll be, if anything, I feel like we're progressing. It will not be a cutoff or a downgrade. So,
yeah, I was looking today, and I knew Marcellus had played a lot last year.
Yep.
I didn't realize he took more snaps than Rush or Cam last year.
I didn't even know that.
I didn't know that. I looked at the snaps, and I was like, whoa, hold on. Supposedly, yeah, that's what I saw. So, and a lot of that was the last few games. He really played. Y'all probably played too many snaps in the bowl game.
Yeah,
but yeah, he played a lot of snaps, especially those last few weeks.
Even throughout the season, I think Coach Gray with the DBs, Coach White did a great job substituting.
Sure.
And Coach White with the backers. We had 2 6-years, Sherrod and Brad. If Coach wanted to, he could have just played them. But no, he was playing me, he's playing Mo, he played Stone. You know, that's 5 different backers that he played. And just for like, I had a lot of snaps. Like even against Missouri, my first game starting, like I had a 10-tackle game. So I was getting a lot of snaps. We got our 2 super seniors, and then defensive backs, D linemen. Everybody was getting a lot of snaps, I think. You know, obviously players going to want more, as they should. And we competitive. You know, everybody wants to start. Everybody wants to be the star. You got to work. You got to put that work in, you know, and then sometimes it takes time.
Who's the best player that you've played against so far in your career?
Just get back to me after the season. They're going to have to show me some more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It takes a lot for me to get respect for a player, you know.
Yeah.
And that's just my mentality, you know. And you'll see this season, God willing, injury free. I pray on that every single day, 3 times a day. I feel like guys got me to where I'm at, you know. Like even before I got to the University of South Carolina, like I put a lot in him to help me get here, because it was a tough process. Because at the time, I didn't know if I would have a full scholarship coming here. I couldn't talk to any coaches, you know. So I was in the portal, and this was before I even knew I was going to be able to come here or not, because I'm waiting on Marshawn. So I could have been without a scholarship at the University of Delaware. I'm already in the portal. So I had to take a leap of faith. And so ever since that moment, it's just been like, God wouldn't bring me this far just to leave me here, you know. So it's time to dominate, you know, and help my team win. Definitely. That's just what I'm here to do, trying to win.
You mentioned that Shane Beamer is a great leader, and obviously he's helped y'all these past couple years. I think y'all have won 4 games the past 2 years where you're double-digit underdogs.
Yep.
You've had some turnarounds when I feel like a lot of people had written y'all off. The Florida game was one, like season's over, year's over, and then y'all go do what you did. How do you think he does that?
I feel like he gets players that embodies that. Like I said in the beginning, within the first 10 minutes of this, like, I'm doubted. Always been doubted. And I'm steaming from that. And so it makes me play that much harder. It makes me play that much better. It makes him coach that much harder, coach that much better. So it's like, don't doubt us. You probably got a better chance of putting us up by 50. Don't doubt us, though.
Yeah.
Don't doubt us, you know. So
how do you create, and I know he's talked about this too, having maybe less peaks. You want those peaks, right? Like we saw, you know, last year at the end of the season. But how do you stack more good days and not have as many peaks and valleys in the year? Be more consistency as a team, not just you, but
definitely staying consistent, man, and everything. When we find what's right, which I feel like we found it, staying consistent at that. We always say, don't get tired of doing the little things, or don't get tired of doing what's right. Every single day, man, do what works, and don't get tired of doing that. So we continue to do that. When we stack great days now, we'll be able to stack great days later.
So you just said a Luke Day phrase. So how is working with Coach Day on a day in day? I know y'all see probably more of him in some points of the year than you do your coaches.
Yeah, I love it because he's very mentally strong.
Yeah,
and he makes us mentally strong, because out there, everybody's banged up. Can you mentally get through that? If you mess up on a play, can you delete that and be mentally ready to the next play? You have to be mentally strong. You got some physically imposing guys on the field. Why aren't they the best players, though? They might not be mentally the strongest. Usually the best players are the ones that's mentally the strongest. And so he's very mentally strong, and he puts that in us. So I love it.
Yeah, good job. All right. 3 segments down. Debo Williams, we got one more coming on the other side. You're listening to the Garnet Trust Hour here on 107.5 The Game.
It's the Garnet Trust Hour on your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
All right, final segment here with Debo Williams of Gamecock Football. Garnet Trust Hour here on 107.5 The Game. I'm Chris Clark. Like I said, joined by Debo Williams from Gamecock Football. Talking about a lot of different stuff. Let's go off the field for a little bit, Debo. So are you kind of interested in what we're doing here? Because you got, like, the podcast background, so this is probably pretty cool to you.
Yeah, so I started with the podcast because I eventually want my own TV show, like a Ellen or a Oprah. You know, I just want to be able to bring on people that's started from nothing. Like, somebody, you ever heard of David Goggins? David Goggins, man, like, he really reinvented himself, and I look up to guys like that, you know, like, he just so mentally strong, and he feels like he can get through anything. I feel like I can get through anything with the right mindset and just working hard every single day, because that's what it takes. And so if somebody from the bottom makes it to the top, you know, I want to be able to bring people on that. It's like a motivation show. Like, it's not completely motivation, but it's like kids like me, I'm 10 years old watching this, like, man, I can do it too. If he can do it, I can do it. He came from the bottom.
No, that's awesome. Goggins is he's a scary guy. He makes me feel like I have not really done too much in my life.
I love it. And that motivates you, because it's like, yo, I can be doing more.
Man, yeah, you're right. I don't know if I can run a marathon every morning or whatever he does.
It's not necessarily just working out, but it's you could be in the business area, you know. Let's be the best businessman. Let's be the best podcaster, you know.
Yeah.
Like, it's not far as just working out, but it's the mentality you need to be the best, you know.
The cool thing about the podcast and like your TV show idea is like now, as opposed to, I don't know, 10 years ago, you can just do it.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty cool. Like, you just get you some equipment. It's kind of like you did. Like, you just took it and you just did it.
Yeah, I love it. There's so many opportunities now, man. And I stopped the podcast because I didn't want nothing in the way of being my best self regarding football right now. This is my main goal.
Yeah.
And I don't want nothing in the way of us winning or and me dominating. You know, I don't want nothing in the way of that. So I'm putting everything on the line now, just to help my team. You know, so I stopped the podcast. The podcast will be here. You know, God willing, I'm here on this earth. I can always do it, and so I'll get back to that. But I just wanted to practice that time, learning how to speak, learning how to look into the camera, and also learning my teammates, man. Like, I've talked to my teammates, but sometimes you never really talk that in depth with people, you know. And so I really learned about my teammates in those podcasts.
That's why I like listening to podcasts, because, like, I don't know, so many things are surface level. Like, if you watch, like, I'm not going to get too political, I promise, but, like, if you watch, like, say, like, a presidential debate, like, it just goes to, like, name calling, and I'm like, I can't even hear what y'all are talking about. But if you sit down and listen to, like, a 3-hour podcast, like, you're going to learn something.
Yeah, definitely.
You know? Do you have any podcasts you listen to on the regular?
I wouldn't say on the regular, because I'd be
kind
so
of dabble.
busy.
Yeah, you're busy
I'd be
now.
so busy with football. Like, I haven't even been on YouTube or the podcast apps like that. Off the top of my head, though, I like a lot of sports podcasts. Like Paul George has one. They used to have this one called The Athlete. I don't know if you ever heard that. But I used to listen to, like, podcasts like that. And then I think his name is, like, Joe Rogan. Right? Yeah. I've heard him a couple of times. You know. So I don't really have specific ones that I watch here all the time, but I do watch some here and there.
Who was your best teammate guest when you had the podcast going? Anybody stick out?
I definitely want to say shout out to Spence, because he didn't have to do that, you know, especially with all his following and everything. He didn't have to do that, but he really helped me
that was awesome.
boost my podcast, you know, and this is when he first got here, so he definitely didn't have to do that. So I want to say shout out to him. And then, do you remember Zaquandre White? Call him Hot Boy?
Oh, yeah.
I was laughing the whole episode. Like, that was hilarious. And so I think that was my favorite for sure.
Zaquandre came on, and we had him on for a Garnet Trust interview on Gamecock Central.
Yep.
And I can't remember. It had to be after the season, and he is not afraid to speak his mind.
Nope.
Like, he told a little Mike Bobo story that kind of got the people talking and everything.
He is not afraid to speak his mind at all. And so, he was just telling me about how it was at Florida State, and he went JUCO. He got here. And he just kept it real, you know. And sometimes when he keeps it real, it's very funny, you know. So that was definitely my favorite episode. So
you obviously want to, you know, you got more time here at South Carolina to play ball. What are you studying, by the way, in school?
I'm in broadcast journalism.
Okay, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, so I was in communications at first, because I'm looking like, okay, what can help me with my speech? I want to be able to speak in front of 20,000 one day. Like, what can help me not mess up? I don't want to say while I'm in the middle of talking.
Right.
I want to be able to think. I want my words, my vocabulary to be very good. I want to sound proper. So I was looking for it, and I'm 18 years old, and I'm kind of doing it by myself. Like, I got my parents there helping, but it's not their dream to do this, you know? So I'm trying to figure out what is my best major I can do. And so I took communications while I was at Delaware, and I was like, this is not it. This is a lot of writing. I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to talk, trying to speak. And so ended up getting a broadcast journalism, and this has been helping a little bit. And so as far as later down the line, I definitely can take some speech class. Not saying I got bad speech, but I want to be so good at talking, it makes you feel me. I want you to feel me while I'm talking. I want you to be like, yeah, he's definitely worked on his craft, you know. So
motivational speaking, maybe a little bit of that, or just more
of just being able to talk. Let's like how we're talking right now. You able to feel me through the microphone, you know.
Well, you're really good at it, honestly. I mean,
but this has come from me practicing on my own. I haven't even got real practice yet.
Yeah.
So, and then motivational, like if you feel me as far as a motivational, that's cool, you know. But that's not my ultimate goal. Like as a David Goggins motivational talker like that. right. I'm not going for that. But just being able to talk. If I got to talk in front of my old high school at Smyrna, talking in front of 300 kids at a camp, I need to be able to talk. I need them to be able to understand what I'm saying.
Were you ever intimidated in the past by talking in front of a crowd? Or, I mean, you obviously, like I said, are good at it, but like, were you not good at it at some point?
I wouldn't say I wasn't good at it, and I wasn't ever scared. Like I said, when I was younger, I moved around a lot, and I've always been outgoing since a kid, so I've never really been scared. I just wanted to be better, like even on the field, like don't want to get embarrassed. I don't say I'm scared, but I don't want no player to embarrass me. You know,
right?
I'm trying to embarrass you.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing with talking. I want to perfect it now and be good at it. So when the time comes, I don't embarrass myself. So before I even get on the field, I need to know the plays that they probably going to run. Obviously, every team's going to come with that one or two sprinkle plays, but most of the time they're going to run the same plays. And I need to be physically ready too, as long as we're mentally ready. So if I'm prepared already, I won't be embarrassed. You know?
Yeah.
So it's speaking and on the field, it's the same thing.
And I'll say, you know, from having to do some, getting to do some speaking stuff in the past, you do have to fail to learn, you know. I mean, and that's the thing. Like, I was always mortified of that. I'm more introverted. Like you said, you were more outgoing.
Yeah.
I'm more of an introvert. The best thing that ever happened to me that helped me, like, in my profession, and I'm not a radio person, like, by trade. I'm actually more of a writer, you know. But I just kind of pretend like I know what I'm doing here on the microphone. But the best thing that ever happened to me is I had to take an elective in high school, and I ended up taking speech and debate.
Okay.
And I was immediately terrified because I'm like, oh, my God, I've got to, like, talk in front of people.
I've had a couple classes like that.
Yeah. But I actually took well to it, and it helped me a lot because I kind of I got confident and, like, I lost my fear. So now, you know, if I go to, like, a party and there's, like, 10 people there, I'm like, oh, my God, like, I can't talk to these people, you know. But if there's, like, 10,000 people, I don't mind, like, talking in front of them. It's like a weird thing, you know.
I mean, you just get comfortable.
Yeah.
It's just like, they're not even there. I'm just talking. Like, it gets like that.
The imagine them in their underwear thing doesn't work, though. Like, I don't know why people said that. Like, that did not work for me. But you just got to gain confidence. But, no, seriously, you are good at it. So I hope that is something you can continue doing.
Definitely.
I could definitely see you having a, you know, like you said, the Oprah type of thing, or like sports podcast, or both.
My whole thing in my life has been being a man of my word. You know, so if I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, and that's just, I won't stop until I do it.
I love it. All right, so before we get out of here, let's talk a little bit about NIL. Cool thing about NIL, like back in the, you know, 5 years ago, less than 5 years ago, you couldn't have been compensated to basically do anything, you know, from a media standpoint. If you signed this sheet of paper and I paid you $1 for it, which is not happening, by the way. We don't need anybody calling. You would get suspended for the North Carolina game. You know, I mean, it'd be crazy. So what have been your thoughts? I know you've been able to capitalize on some NIL stuff.
It's been great, you know, like I was just talking, I forgot who I was talking to yesterday, but it's like me being from Delaware, I'm 9 to 10 hours away.
Yeah.
And my family's there. I can make a phone call, and if it's an emergency, they'll come here. But at the same time, I'm by myself down here.
Yeah.
Like, I got here at 18. I'm 21 now. These 3 years have been the best, like, time, but at the same time, I've had a lot of growing up to do.
Sure.
I've matured tremendously, and I think it's the best decision I could have made, because it's like I feel grown now. Like, I pay my own bills. I don't need any help, and NIL has helped with that, helping me pay my own bills, helping me learn how to do taxes, and, like, I've had to grow up tremendously, but at the same time, it's been great, you know, so NIL has really helped a lot. And then also, whatever business owners or entrepreneurs that I'm doing my NIL deal with, like, it builds bonds, you know. And I'm also learning at the same time. You know, I eventually want to be an entrepreneur. So me meeting those guys and building those bonds, you know, it's not about what you know, it's about who you know sometimes. So it's a great thing.
Yeah, I think there's a misconception that NIL players getting paid. For most people, for most athletes, even at SEC schools, it's not these like astronomical numbers. You know, it's helping pay bills and you know, things like that. So I feel like that's the under discussed part of it is learning how to manage your money.
Yep.
Learning how to save. Like if you don't have any money, you can't manage your money.
Yep, exactly.
You know. So all right, Debo, this has been a lot of fun, man. We could sit in here we could have our long form podcast if we wanted, but we don't have time for it today. Let's do this again sometime.
Definitely.
Maybe you can bring the podcast back.
Yes,
maybe you can have me on your podcast one day. I'm not interesting enough, but maybe if you're really hurting for guests, I'll come on there one day.
You could be a co-host.
Okay.
We'll get a big guest on there.
That's a pretty good idea. All right, this has been the Garnet Trust Hour on 107.5 The Game. Thanks again, Gamecock Football's Debo Williams, for joining me. I'm Chris Clark. Gamecock Central Takeover Hour is next.